Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So it appears Joy Reid, of all people, seems to have changed her mind when it comes to the whole issue of men going into women's bathrooms, the whole issue of men in women's spaces, men who identify as trans, infringing upon women's spaces. It seems she's had a change of heart after years of saying that it's bigotry to be against a trans identifying man using a women's bathroom, entering a women's locker room. She has criticized people such as Riley Gaines. She has criticized women such as Mums of Liberty, who look out for the well-being of children, making sure that they're not exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. People who have fought to get rid of this whole gender-affirming care, so-called gender-affirming care, when it comes to children. She has been very vocal about that. But now, apparently she can admit that she herself doesn't want to see a man in her space, doesn't want to see a man in her locker room, doesn't want to be exposed to male genitalia. You know, the sort of thing that happened to Riley Gaines and Paula Scanlon and the girls that came forward from Pennsylvania University? The girls who came forward in regards to Leah Thomas, saying that we don't want to see a man, undressing in the locker room. We don't want to be in the shower with a man. We don't want to be in a state of undress in front of a man, even those who identify as trans. But Joy Reid had a lot to say about that. So let's take a look at her recent admission that the very thing that we've been saying makes us uncomfortable, makes us feel unsafe. Somehow, she apparently agrees now all of a sudden.
There would be women walking around. I'm talking about women walking around with their boobies dangling, swinging in the breeze. And it's not even like perky boobies, just boobies drooping to their knees. They're kicking their boobies down the street and then want to walk up and have a conversation with you. And I'm like, don't walk up to me with no clothes on and talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. I would be disturbed. I'm telling you, I would be alarmed. I'm alarmed enough when I see a woman with her dangling boobies. Yeah. If I saw a penis in the ladies' locker room, I would freak out too. This is nothing against trans anybody. What it's saying is, if I turn around and I see a penis in front of me inside of the room, I would probably go to management and say, wait a minute, why is there a naked man in this room? Because just the world we live in, just from a safety standpoint, and just from a privacy standpoint, so I can see why she would have gone and reported to management. There's a man naked in the bed. Now, if they clarified and they said, well, trans, okay, but I think they should take her concerns also seriously. Because if she's uncomfortable, does she not have the right to be at least uncomfortable with this situation, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. The nerve of this woman. Did Riley Gaines and all of those swimmers not have the right to feel uncomfortable too? You called them bigots. Did Riley Gaines not have the right to object to seeing penis in her locker room? So it appears that she's become aware of what's gone on with Tish Hyman. And at the very least, I can say it appears that Joy is showing where her priorities lie when it comes to the hierarchy of box ticking. Because when Tish spoke to that Wiener guy, Scott Wiener, and the whole room made it clear that a Black woman is the least of their priorities. They made it very clear. So perhaps Joy is just relating to Tish as another Black woman and showing that she prioritizes that above the white male who identifies as trans. Maybe that's what we're dealing with here. Because I cannot for the life of me understand why you couldn't have said this years ago. Now she wants to say it, now that she's lost everything. And she's just a regular podcaster like the rest of us now. Now that she doesn't have her show, primetime TV or whatever it was, where she's earning millions. Now that she's lost all of that. Oh, now she can say, I don't want to see male genitalia in the locker room. I don't even like seeing women naked in a locker room. Other women makes me uncomfortable, much less a penis. Yet the young girls in high school and even middle school who say the same thing have been called bigots, have been bullied, have been thrown off teams. They've even had to go to court to say that they don't want that, to try and get the law to protect them. Joy Reid had nothing to say about that. Young girls having to deal with this nonsense. Joy Reid didn't defend these young girls and say, yeah, I agree, it would make me uncomfortable too. But suddenly now that everyone's getting behind Tish Hyman, even people, whatever their political affiliations are, they're getting behind Tish Hyman, they're getting behind the black woman, and now Joy wants to jump on the bandwagon, apparently. Where was all this a few years ago, when you had a larger platform, when you had more influence, when your voice could have had real impact? Let's just remember who this woman is. Now she wants to pretend that she's somebody who believes in common sense, whereas before, she had the nerve to disparage a mother looking out for the well-being of children, a mother who objected to children being exposed to explicit material in schools, kids as young as primary school age or elementary school age. Joy Reid had no problem gaslighting this woman and trying to undermine her when she was looking out for children.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally by his adult family members.
So you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the gentleman.
Hold on. Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You
just remembered
very specific names.
Joy.
Here's my question.
We're talking about.
Here's my question.
You didn't answer my
No.
question. There should be vibrant conversations about what's happening in our public schools and what kids have access to. Joy, however, maybe we could just put all the books with all the graphic sexual content, the dildos.
You're not just. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let's do a back room. Let's put a curtain up in the library
First of all,
they used to do.
One moment.
Remember when we were little and you would go to the video store?
The books that Moms for Liberty.
The
books that Moms for Liberty.
With pornography.
I know that I've seen.
We could just do that in the public library.
I have seen tapes of what Moms for Liberty does, and you all go into school board meetings and you read graphic stuff.
Disingenuous conversation.
No, it's not.
There's America used to understand that there's something called age-appropriate content.
Now she can say that as a woman, I don't want to see male genitalia in the locker room. It makes me uncomfortable. But before, she was incapable of admitting that children shouldn't be exposed to explicit material that could traumatize them. She couldn't even admit that it's wrong for our public schools, even including elementary schools, to be sexualizing children. She couldn't even admit that. But now she wants to act like she's Miss Common Sense. Oh yeah, I don't want a man in my bathroom, when we've been told for years that it's wrong to say that we can't even call them men. When a woman says she doesn't want a man in her bathroom, or a girl says she doesn't want to be in the locker room with boys, what was the focus of trans activists and these radical leftists? How dare you call them men? How dare you call them boys? Just like with the Wiener talking about trans women are women. That was his response.
What would you say to women who are seeking assurance that their safety will be protected from men who, by California law, can self-ID as women in women-only spaces, sir? Please tell me.
Yeah, so we want, everyone to be safe, and we also know that, we have trans people, both men and women, who are men and women, and so, so if you're trans women are women.
Nothing about, oh yeah, perhaps we need to tighten up our policies so that domestic abusers can't walk into the women's locker room. Male domestic abusers can't walk in to the women's locker room and see women naked. No, just trans women are women. And Joy Reid was all for that not too long ago. The gaslighting, the labeling of women, who said the very thing that she just said on that podcast.
Bathroom panic is really, I think, nothing more than a pretext to roll back not only LGBT rights, but civil rights more generally.
Yeah, and to the point of bathroom panic, which is the term I've coined for it as well, the sort of apocalyptic language, Genevieve, that you've heard from Republicans on this.
What about young women who've been sexually abused? Do we not care about the fact that they now are going to feel traumatized by a guy standing next to them, even though that guy says he's a girl?
But do you understand,
lot of
Genevieve,
people
that
are
a
feeling it's
transgender
fake
woman,
here.
if Pauline is being forced to be in a men's room full of men, because the law would also say that she would have to do that. Don't you think that there is a danger to a woman, a transgender woman, walking into a restroom full of men? That's the exact scenario you just described. But the law says that she has to do it.
Targeting trans people isn't new. It is an age-old tradition, which Nazi Germany did with brutally violent ends in the 1930s. While the Supreme Court refuses to do anything about weapons of war in schools, today they seemed inclined to uphold Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. While the decision is not expected for months, a majority of the justices parroted a string of debunked talking points, all under the guise of protecting the kids, just not every kid.
So little girls being uncomfortable about boys coming into their locker rooms and showers didn't seem to bother Joy not too long ago. But now she's thinking about herself. And now she's not afraid to say how she really feels. Well, is it good enough? Absolutely not. Is it too little, too late? Absolutely. Breaking. Joy Reid says if she saw a penis in the women's locker room, she would freak out. But I was told this is far-right, bigoted, hateful extremism. Joy Reid says she doesn't want to see a penis in the women's locker room. She's going to pretend she's believed this all along, never addressing the years she spent attacking and smearing women who said the exact same thing. She's acting like she didn't help create this madness. Exactly. At least she's saying something now. When women said they were uncomfortable, the left called it bigotry. Now Joy Reid says the same thing and suddenly it's common sense. I'm always sus when they start to sound normal. This is very transphobic. It's making Emily very angry. You won't like her when she's angry. So the young girls who are bullied, who are labelled, who are punished for saying that they are uncomfortable with boys being in their locker room, don't back down. Because deep down, everybody knows you're correct. Everybody knows that what you're saying is 100% reasonable. Everybody knows you're right. But many people are just playing politics, are playing games. Don't let people gaslight you. Don't let people tell you that you are wrong when they are in fact lying to themselves and lying to others. You can even be on TV doing that for years and then turn around and say, oops, actually, so they may want to backtrack now, people such as Joy Reid, but she will be known as somebody who was on the wrong side of history. Her body of work speaks volumes and says exactly what she pushed and what she is responsible for. And she got paid very well for pushing an ideology that is harmful towards women and children. She got paid very well for it. None of us are buying it. It's okay to change your mind, but you better address the things that you have said in the past, because you had a responsibility to take the platform that you were given and use it to inform people, use it to actually tell the truth. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.